This program is rated PG. It contains themes and scenes which may not be suitable for very young audiences. Parental guidance is advised.
Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Rise and shine. 6 a.m. and your hand can't make it to the alarm clock before the voices in your head start telling you that it's too early, too dark, and too cold to get out of bed. Aching muscles lie still in rebellion, pretending not to hear your brain commanding them to move. A legion of voices are shouting their unanimous permission for you to hit the snooze button and go back to dreamland. But you didn't ask their opinion. The voice you've chosen to listen to is one of defiance. A voice that says there was a reason you set that alarm in the first place. So sit up, put your feet on the floor, and don't look back, because we've got work to do. Welcome to the grind. For what is each day but a series of conflicts between the right way and the easy way? 10,000 streams fan out like a river delta before you, each one promising the path of least resistance. Thing is, you're headed upstream. And when you make that choice, and you decide to turn your back on what's comfortable and safe and what some would call common sense, well, that's day one. From there, it only gets tougher. So just make sure this is...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Philippines Uncut. I'm your host, Buddy Kunana. Now, in this show, we talk about everything under the sun. And tonight is once again about athletics, specifically triathlon, one of the fastest and most popular sports, fastest catching sports now in the Philippines and in the world. And more people are getting into it. And tonight, we're going to ask our question of ourselves, is triathlon for you? And joining us is Mr. Lian Cruz, and he is the performance coach of an interesting company called BioTune.
BioTune.
Yes. Welcome, Lian, to Philippines Uncut.
Thanks for bringing us here, and we're very happy to bring triathlon to your audience.
No, lovely. Actually, I've wanted to do this show for a long time. Here in Philippines Uncut, we've featured swimming, we've featured boxing, we've featured bodybuilding, and all sorts of sports. You know, sports is one of our advocacies, and I've always been intrigued by triathlon because you know it's a relative new sport, and it's an interesting one because by its name alone, it means that you're combining three different practices under one roof, no? Okay, before we jump into that, let's talk about you. Who is Lian Cruz?
Lian Cruz. You know, it's fun to say, but we've been in the sport for the longest time. You can say we're one of the pioneers of Philippine triathlon. Back in the days during the infancy. So back in those years during the 90s. In fact, triathlon started here in the Philippines in the 85s, 89s. But we were the first breed of proper national teams. Okay. So yeah, back in the 95s, 97s, we used to compete around the Asia Cup when triathlon was relatively new in the Philippines. Yeah. And lo and behold, 15 years ahead, 17 years ahead, it's become this big. It's become mainstream, so very happy.
But were you an athlete before you became a triathlete? Were you involved in other sports?
Well, that's the funny thing in our family. You know, we're a family of academes.
Okay.
We were not designed to do sports. You know, my dad was into the Department of Science and Technology, basically a scientist. But it became an excuse for me, sport, when I was in college. to go out there instead of joining. Normally some of our friends join clubs,
Yeah.
groups, fraternities,
Yes.
and the likes. But for introverts like me, I was a nerd. There was no other recourse but to join sport.
Yes.
It so happened that in the university where I attended, there were some really good looking and very fit triathletes, and we joined it by accident, and we saw that the community was alive, and you get to join different sorts of people.
Yeah. Now, you're a performance coach. What does it mean
Right.
quickly before we jump?
Okay,
Into the
a performance coach is a very new title
topic? Okay.
in the industry. It was basically popularized by European sporting system. You have a trainer, just
Okay.
like in
In the
the
gym.
gym,
Yeah, sure,
right?
sure.
Trainer. You have what you call a coach, who gives you workouts,
Okay.
and there's what you call a performance coach. A performance coach literally identifies your potential. So he starts from the beginning until the end.
Okay.
So it's basically what the top sporting bodies in Europe or in the Western Hemisphere are using, is that they literally study who you are, from what you eat, from when you sleep, basically your daily activities. Unlike when you go to the gym, just
Sure,
pay a trainer,
Just go and pump iron.
just do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Coach, you can just go online, gives you a workout.
Plan
do that.
and that's it. Yeah.
Correct.
So it's like a more holistic approach
Correct.
to
Correct.
sports or physical fitness for that matter.
Correct.
Now,
Eh,
do you have to train for this to become a performance coach, or is this something that this one study to become a performance coach, or
Well,
it's
performance
by
co-
experience?
Correct. The sad part is performance coach is a title that you cannot, go to a school and get a certificate to be a performance coach.
Sure,
It's
sure.
basically a combination of unrelated events.
Like different disciplines put
Correct.
together.
Correct.
Okay.
So there are some unique, you can say, aspects of your background for you to be able to become like that. Because again, there's no title as a performance coach.
Yes, yes.
It's born out of several aspects. For example, I was very fortunate that during my formative years, I took up applied physics and
Okay.
chemistry.
All right.
Okay. I was into the BPO industry as a trainer, training people, corporate management.
Human resource right there.
Correct.
Okay.
And then I got into sports. So when you combine all those, characteristics, you come out to be a good manager of a
Sure.
person, to manage his life. At the same time, because you're into applied physics, you are able to explain complex ideas and make them a little bit simple.
Nice.
Because that's what
nice.
you do when you train people in the industry.
Sure.
You get to get different personalities.
So it is a perfect fit for you, this job. Are you a full-time performance coach? Are you doing this full-time, or do you have a day job?
Well, I do this full time because it's my hobby,
Okay.
but I don't consider it as my only source of income.
Okay.
I also manage other stuff.
Okay.
But it so happened I've been doing this since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
So 10 years now.
But this is really a career for you, huh? I mean, this being a coach, a performance coach.
Well, quite
athlete.
honestly, it wasn't not a career.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some of our clients who've seen the services says that nobody does it like this way. I mean, you have to travel abroad to get this same kind of services. So they advise, why don't you, do it
Excellent.
properly? And that's where BioTune came in with the agency.
Excellent, excellent. Now, okay, let's jump into the topic. What is triathlon? For those people who are just
Okay.
joining and have never, or who have, like me, like it's the layperson's grasp of what triathlon is.
Triathlon, the way you spell it, 3 sports.
Okay.
3 sports. It involves 3 of the most popular Olympic sports. By itself, they can stand alone. You have swimming, you have swimming clubs, you have cycling, and you have running. All 3 Olympic sports. It so happened maybe back in the 80s or back in the 70s, some groups of people who were a former swimmer, a former cyclist, and a former runner had a bet. They said, "Hey, I'm better than you guys." They said, "Why don't we make a bet?" They started in Hawaii, and they said, "Yeah, sure. Let's see. Let's combine the 3 sports and let's see who wins."
Is this how it started?
Yeah, it's an urban legend, but it's true.
Okay.
Okay, so there was this former Olympic swimmer, a cyclist, and a runner, and they said, "Yeah,
In
why don't
Hawaii.
we-" In Hawaii.
Okay, so born in Hawaii.
Just one ordinary afternoon. Let's say, okay, let's see who's the best because of all the egos coming up, right? So they came up with a sport: 1 4-kilometer swim, 4-kilometer swim,
Okay.
180-kilometer bike.
Wow.
Okay. Just to give you a perspective how long 180 is, from Manila to Urdaneta, Pangasinan.
Wow.
Okay, that's 180.
Far. That's far.
Okay.
So you swim 4K first,
And then you
jump on your bike,
right?
and then you bike from here to
Urdaneta,
Urdaneta.
Pangasinan. No rest, huh? No rest.
No rest. Straight from the water to the
Straight
bike.
from the water.
All right.
As
Go,
fast
go.
as you can.
Yeah.
But not that's not all. After riding your bike, you have to do a full marathon,
Wow.
42K.
My God.
I know, right? But
No,
that's the most extreme version of
It's called the
triathlon.
Iron Man.
It's called the Iron Man.
Okay. Understandable. Understandable.
okay.
The name. Yeah.
It's become popularized by this grueling event, just like a marathon. Marathon is basically a 42K run, but now it's called a marathon. So it's tagged as a marathon. Ironman is the same thing. You know, this distance is now called Iron Man. So that's how it all started. And then from there, it started to have different versions.
So people, I mean, there's not just one. I mean, so what you mean? Tell me is that there are like some challenges where it's not 4K swim, it's not
Correct.
100, like smaller
Correct.
distances.
Correct.
Okay.
Just like a marathon, it all started in Greece, 42K,
Okay.
and then from then on, there's 10K runs, there's 5K runs, etc. Same with triathlon, it all started with the Ironman, and of course, a lot of people can do it. So when it became an Olympic sport, you have what you call the Olympic distance, governed by the Olympic
Okay.
movement.
Yes, yes.
So Olympic distance is basically something that, based on health issues, something that people can do. 1.5 kilometer swim, 40-kilometer bike, okay, really short, and manageable 10 kilometers of running.
Okay, okay. This is the
Olympic distance.
Olympic distance.
Okay.
Okay, okay.
Then, because it becomes popular,
Yeah.
because they want everyone to join it, now you have what you call the youth and kids distance, again governed by the Olympic governing body.
Now, this is an Olympic sport. I mean, triathlon is an Olympic sport. Has
Right.
been for how many years already?
It's one of the newest
Okay.
sport in the Olympic program.
Okay.
Okay, it started back. I remember I was there in 2000.
Okay.
Okay, in the year 2000 in Sydney.
All right.
Okay,
Oh, that was the first time.
that was the first time.
Yeah. So it's not an exhibition sport. It is a proper sport.
Medal sport.
Medal sport, really.
Correct. Okay.
Okay.
And I still vividly remember when I was young, I was in that group of people who first did the Sydney Olympics. But I was not in the Olympics, but I was in the same training program. And because of the reach and popularity of the sport, from its humble beginnings in 15 years' time, it became an Olympic sport. No other sport
Wow.
was able to jump from being just
Sure,
a hobby
sure. To an
in
Olympic
Hawaii.
sport in 15 years.
Correct.
Amazing. No, that's pretty fast. I mean, I don't know how long it took Taekwondo
Correct.
to become, or you know, these other sports to become Olympic sports.
Correct.
No? I mean, but this is pretty fast. Okay. Have you done the Ironman?
Well, I was fortunate enough not to be
Yeah.
able to push to do the Ironman, because back in the days when I get into the triathlon, being part of the national team, I was regulated not to do that distance.
Okay.
Because we were designed to specialize on the Olympic distance.
Okay. All right. Now, okay, let's talk about worldwide. How many
Triathletes?
How big is the triathlon community?
I'll just give you statistics in terms of participation. Okay. Imagine now you go to a website and they announce that let's say the Hawaii Ironman is opening. Okay. You have to get into your computer, because in less than 30 to 1 minute, the 3,000 slots is gone.
Wow.
That fast.
Yeah, just to participate.
Just
in
to
the Hawaii,
participate.
Triathlon.
Well, most of the popular triathlons right now, in fact, even here in the Philippines, there are some very popular triathlons. As soon as they announce that they're going to open the registration now, most people, you know, these are urban legends, but these are true. They will literally stay on the computer. As soon as the bell rings, open registration, you got to register.
Wow.
Or else in 60 seconds, you're out.
Now, why is it so popular? I mean, you know, there's so many sports to get into, and
Right.
this is a very difficult sport. I mean, just hearing you talk about the distances makes me tired. Okay.
Well,
Makes me
yeah,
tired.
just talking
So-
about it just makes me tired too.
So why get into this? So what is the satisfaction one gets from swimming and then, you know, then biking, and then running? I mean, that's a hell of a lot of work, no?
Well, in general, around the world, it's popular, but it's a different story in the Philippines. You know, back in the Philippines, we have other sports that became, you can say, fad, correct?
Sure,
Popular now,
sure.
gone afterwards. Okay, But the basic sport of triathlon involves cycling. Everyone cycles. Even a 5-year-old kid has a bicycle.
Yes, yes.
Everyone can run.
That's
And
true.
running is so popular now.
That's true.
So I guess the most difficult part is swimming because you have to have a swimming pool or an ocean. But one of the things why triathlon's becoming popular is maybe because of the economic status of the Philippines. You know, we're a little bit better off than years back, and people are now focusing on health and wellness, not just the sport.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Number two, some people, some of the executives set themselves apart by becoming fit. To give you an idea, some people they would like to invest in toys, you know, fancy cars, nice houses, etc.
Sure.
They get into golf, which is golf, but now triathlon has overtaken golf in the moniker of the new golf.
Nice.
You know, it's people that you wanna aspire with.
Now, I've heard that triathlon, getting triathlon is not a poor man's sport. I've heard from friends that it's expensive. So much so that the regular triathlon guys get sponsors because to subsidize the costs. What are the costs involved?
Well, that's the myth involved in this because it's become big.
Yeah.
You know? And the reason why it's become big and the consequence of that, a lot of manufacturers, you know, equipment like what we have in the background, have now become available in the Philippines because of the demand.
Yeah.
And because of that, people just see the expensive parts of the sport. And so they think that to be part of the sport, you have to invest a lot of money, which is not totally true.
Yeah. No, but let's just get into the venues of triathlon competitions. Like most of these are held outside Metro Manila, in the islands. I mean, of course, it's got to be in the ocean. You know? Some place near the ocean where there's ideal ocean and track and
Correct.
and all that. And so just the cost of flying there, accommodation, blah blah blah, and registering. I understand that some of these competitions also charge
A lot of money.
A lot of money. Yeah.
Right, right. Well, that's true. That's already a given fact because of the cost involved. However, since we want to bring triathlon to the mainstream, you'll be surprised that we do triathlons in the city, like literally in the heart of the city.
Okay, how do you do the swimming part?
Swimming part happens in the swimming club.
Okay.
You know, they just swim over
Oh,
there.
laps, just laps.
Just
then.
laps, okay? And then bike around the loop.
Uh-huh.
You know, maybe just give me a 5-kilometer loop. It can be done.
Okay.
And then just run around. Case in point, maybe a few weeks ago, we had a duathlon in Mall of Asia. We had an aquathon in Ultra, which is just in the heart of Ortigas. You know?
Interesting. Huh?
So basically, the good thing about the sport, it can be modified to bring it closer.
Yeah, and I guess another, coming from a layperson, the attraction of triathlon is you're really competing against yourself, and there's no, it's unlike tennis. You have to get into tennis. Well, if you want to get into competitive tennis, you've got to start early.
Correct.
Or competitive golf, or anything competitive for that
Correct.
matter. But triathlon is something that, as you said, it's basic, no? Biking, swimming, running. You
Right.
can get at it fairly late in life and still do decently, no? It is
True.
possible, no?
It is true. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Leon, we've got so many more questions for you, especially about training, which we're going to tackle when we come back.
Okay.
So, guys, more off triathlon for everyone when Philippines Uncut returns. Wala tayong card.